This is Nancy Danino. We're here at the Toronto Pro Super Show, and I'm here over the top with Ian Carnigie with the Major League Arm Wrestling Tournament, and I'm getting a little interactive here, and I think I can take him. What do you think?
Maybe.
Maybe. Anyways, tell us what's happening here.
Okay, today we're doing our first Major League Arm Wrestling Pro event, and it's taking place at the Toronto Pro Super Show. At noon, we'll have a match for the championship of the world, and that is Devon Larratt versus Tim Breslin of the United States. Currently, Devon Larratt from Ottawa, Canada, is holding the #1 ranking. So at 12 noon, we're going to see who is the better man, and someone will be walking away with a championship belt.
Well, we are definitely going to come back. I wanted to ask you quickly, though, Ian, just tell us a little bit about how you train for something like this, because I know a lot of these guys come up and they think that they can just come and lock you out or whatever, but there's got to be some sort of endurance training, strength training to get you prepared for something, because it's very intense.
Right. Well, I suppose the best way to look at it is it depends on what your assets are. If you only have a gym, then you will do mission-specific types of workouts, so hand and wrist, finger, a lot of workouts with static holds, chin-ups with static holds, do a lot of time work, bands, anything that works rotation, basically trying to strengthen your tendons and ligaments. If you have a team, the best way to get stronger at arm wrestling is to arm wrestle with some people that are knowledgeable, that know how to keep you, protect yourself, and just developing static hold through pulling. Lots of table time. The strongest man in the world in arm wrestling can pull a plane with one arm, and he's 6'5", 242, but he's very lean. He's not a big, bulky guy. And, you would think most people's perceptions of arm wrestlers are these really massive guys, and there are people like that, but what's emerging as the top athletes now are guys that more look like MMA guys who are fit from core, top to bottom, cardiovascularly, that have the strength, the pop, and the endurance. So it's basically rounding into a total sport like a mixed martial arts or a boxing or something like that.
That was definitely a wealth of knowledge that I didn't even know myself, and you can see that there's a lot that goes into a sport like this, and I'm sure that the pros tonight are going to be anxiously waiting to lock out over there. So where can we find the pros? Is that later on this weekend?
At 12, we have the return of Goodridge. He's a former K1 world champion. He's also an ex-UFC competitor. Before his fight career, he was Canada's first world arm wrestling #1. He was not just a champion, he was the #1 ranked arm wrestler in the world. At that time, you couldn't make a living in arm wrestling, so he went to the fight game. He's had some issues with head injuries, and it's forced him out of the fight game, but he loves to compete, and he loves the mano-a-mano combat feel, and he says the closest thing to fighting that he gets is arm wrestling, so he's coming back here where there's zero chance of head injuries, and he can engage in combat.
Well, that's wonderful. We'll be sure to come back to visit the Major League Arm Wrestling Tournament this evening and see who's going to lock out over the top. This is Nancy Danino. This is Nancy Danino here at the Toronto Pro Super Show, a world of fitness here. We've got champion Devon Larratt. He's an arm wrestling champion. As you can see, he's doing a little demo over here on how you can take it over the top. Hey, right over here. This is Nancy Danino with the Toronto Pro Super Show, and I'm going to go over the top with arm wrestling champion Devon Larratt here. I'm going to learn a little bit how it's done.
You really just have to crush the person, okay? It's really what it's all about, just crushing people.
Crushing people, okay? Yeah. I got to station my weight, I know that.
Imagine like a bunch of grapes, and you just squishing them, making juice.
It's all in the arm control, wrist control.
Yeah.
So it's all in the wrist.
It's all in the wrist.
Okay, so if someone's just starting out, I spoke to Ian, and they said that there's a whole technique behind this. It's not about the weight and the myth that you got to have like a 300-pound guy doing this, but more it's about the agility and technique.
Arm wrestling, really, the best way I like to describe it is it's a miniaturized martial art, right? It's a fighting game where we interact through our hands. You can be strong, you can be fast, you can be tricky, you can be smart, you can have lots of moves. It's a full game, and people can just get better and better and better at it. It's a great game.
So if someone just wants to start into something like this, how do you begin training in terms of like in the gym, your endurance, and even the nutritional aspect of this?
Well, so if you want to become an arm wrestler, the best thing you can do is find an arm wrestling club near you. We're in the modern day of the internet. Find a club near you. Go on the Ontario Arm Wrestling Board. If you're in Ontario, Canadian, whatever, there's message boards. Find a club, and they're going to direct you how to proceed.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Congratulations, and I'm going to take it over the top of my own time.
Right on.